So, welcome to this week's episode of Body Image Confidential, where viewers submit a topic to me on a challenge that they're experiencing around feeling peaceful in their body, feeling good in their body, and I answer the question, hoping that it helps them. So, this week's question comes from Daiana, and it is a common one, which is she says, I can't look at myself in photos or a mirror. I'm tired of that. I mean, she can look at herself in photos, but I'm going to guess that she doesn't like what she sees. How can I let go of the fear of not liking myself in photos or mirrors? So, what's happening firstly, if we look at you just living your daily life, you're doing your thing, doing what you enjoy, going for a walk, whatever. Why isn't a problem in those moments how you feel in your body? Well, number one, you're not probably thinking about it so much. Your attention and your focus is engaged on what you're doing. So you're enjoying, the thing that you're doing, or you're just like living life. You're feeling fine. You're feeling comfortable. But then you see an image of yourself, right? You see a picture. So what happens in that moment? What changes? Well, ideas start coming into your head, comparing this image, an idea, to ideas that have been popped in your head of what is a good body or a bad body, and how you should look or shouldn't look, and everything that's associated with that. So it's not like, oh, it's usually what? I look fat, right? So looking fat, first and foremost, is totally relative. Like, you can't be fat unless you're comparing to something else. So even that idea is totally relative. It's comparative. But we've been told, and we've come to associate that looking a certain way means something, right? We've been given it meaning in our culture. And I want to just say that meaning isn't a truth or a fact, because that meaning has changed over time, and it's changed across cultures. So you look in the mirror, you see a photo, and your mind starts comparing to another idea, even if it's a made up idea. Because how many times have you looked at yourself in a photo? I often will talk about when I was thin. I never felt thin. Like, I would look at a mirror, look in a photo, and still think I didn't look thin enough. Now I look back and I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, that's crazy. Of course I was thin, but you can't see it. So there's always this idea or image that your mind is comparing yourself to. And that's what's happening. But those images and ideas aren't real. They're made up. So if you can see that when you're looking at a photo or you're looking at a mirror, you're not looking at yourself. You're looking at yourself through the lens of ideas that you've learned to believe are true or not true about yourself. You're looking at ideas, at thoughts. Those aren't real. Those are made up. And if it's a thought that makes you feel bad, it is out of alignment with the truth of you, of your deepest truth. So how do we know this? I want you to just look at little kids, little toddlers, because even when bigger kids have already started to learn these ideas of fatness and, looking beautiful or not, or whatever that means, they don't cringe at themselves when they look in the mirror. They don't see a photo of themselves and go, ew. Why is that? Well, because they're not looking at themselves through the lens of negative thoughts and ideas. They're just seeing themselves like they didn't learn there was any problem with themselves. Look at my daughter. It's like she loves seeing herself in photos and on video. She thinks it's great. She's not judging herself or criticizing herself because she hasn't learned to yet. Because these ideas of you're supposed to look a certain way haven't implanted in her mind. So how do you change this? You have to start seeing that when you look in a mirror, you're not looking at yourself. You're looking through the ideas you have about yourself. These ideas that my body dictates my worth, that if I look a certain way, that means I'm better or worse. Those are ideas that are not serving you. So I want you to see that these are beliefs, thoughts that are like floating by your mind, and you're believing them. That's why it hurts. It hurts when you believe things that are untrue about yourself. So when you look in a mirror or see a photo of yourself and the first thought you have is ew, and you start judging yourself, I want you to start to notice, okay, what have I learned to believe? What if it wasn't true? Like, okay, what if I never learned that fat is bad? What if I never learned that, I don't know, getting gray hair was bad, whatever it might be? How might I view myself? And that's going to start to open up a little bit of space between those thoughts. And you might start to see yourself more clearly, start to see yourself just as an image of a person, of you. It says nothing about you. So, and then you might even want to try, how might I feel if I looked at this photo of myself and was like, oh, I like myself. My body is fine. I'm actually really beautiful. Like, just try it on. You don't have to believe it. You're probably not going to believe it right away, but try it on, because the truth is that our bodies are neutral until we layer a belief on top of it. So all that's going on is you're just looking through a whole bunch of beliefs that are making you feel like crap. So you got to work on the beliefs. It's not your body. It's what you're thinking about your body. So when you can start to see that these are beliefs, and I know that they can feel really true, and I know that they can bring up a lot of emotion, that doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. Just because emotion is there. In fact, the more intense the emotion is, it's just telling you you're believing it more. Like that it's stronger. The mind's just spinning a whole story of what does this mean? And I'm never going to be loved. And what are people going to think of me? And also your nervous system is getting activated. So it's saying like, oh no, you're unsafe. You are safe. You're totally safe. It's literally just an idea. So you got to work at that level. Okay. So to start to see that these are thoughts that you're believing about yourself, not the truth. You can have a thought, it will come and go. And you can also shift your thoughts. You can start trying on new different thoughts. So, one way that you can start doing this is through, like start implanting new ideas and thoughts into your mind through mantras or affirmations. So I actually have a personalized mantra meditation. So essentially I have a whole bunch of like mantras, or like 77 mantras. If you don't have that free guide, you can get that, where you can start to speak these mantras to yourself, but you can also you can order your own personalized mantra meditation where you pick 25 mantras that really speak to you, and I'll record a meditation for you to help you start to feel into what would it feel like if I started believing these positive things about my body. And then you can start to practice those when you're looking in the mirror or you're looking at yourself in a photo. So that's one way to do it. But again, I just want you to start to see these are thoughts, not truth. Thoughts aren't real. Can you touch a thought? Can you hold a thought? Where does a thought go once it goes? So you can just start to see this as I'm just seeing untrue thoughts and try on thoughts that feel better. All right, that's what I've got for you today, Daiana, and anybody else who is watching. I hope that you thought it was helpful. If you're curious about that mantra meditation, you want to order yourself a copy, you can DM me. You can just DM me and say, I want that mantra meditation, and I want to order my own copy, and I'll send you a link for it. But I would also say you can also comment mantra, and I'll just give you the free guide of the 77 mantras. So if you want to use it in your own way, that's available too. Until next week, everybody, for a new episode of Body Image Confidential. Oh, and if you have a question for me, you have a topic you'd like me to see addressed on this, send me a DM as well, and I can mark it for a future episode of Body Image Confidential. See you soon. Bye.